Friends, welcome to my workplace at Ranaghat, West Bengal, India. This is an intumescent cataract. Let us observe this surgery. This is the main incision with a 2.8 millimeter steel keratome on the posterior aspect of the limbus. And this is a side port on the right side of the main incision, about 3 clock hours away. And this is another side port on the left side of the main incision, about same distance away. Now an air bubble is injected into the anterior chamber, and then trypan blue dye is applied over the anterior capsule. The dye is applied in such a way that all parts of the anterior capsule is stained with this dye. Now the dye is washed out, and this is real time. After this much time you can wash the dye out. And now this is 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose. No sodium hyaluronate, just 2% HPMC is being used. An incision is made on the anterior capsule. It should be a C flap, and in this case it has been almost straight. And now a very small rhexis is made. At any moment it can go to periphery, so we must be very careful in directing the capsular tag to make a small rhexis. And now this is a 23G Simcoe. With the help of this Simcoe, some cortical lens matter is being removed so that the intralenticular pressure decreases. And now this is aspiration of cortex from the superior aspect. Once the cortex is removed in such a way from all sides, it is no longer an intumescent cataract, rather it has negative pressure, and the capsule will never go to periphery. So in this way we can avoid using sodium hyaluronate. Now a small nick at the margin of the mini rhexis, and with the help of the Utrata forceps, this mini rhexis is enlarged. Size of this rhexis should be according to the size of the nucleus. In this case the rhexis size is about 5.5 millimeter, and it is a fairly round, fairly acceptable rhexis. And now the tip of the phaco needle is introduced into the anterior chamber. The bevel is initially down towards the lens mass. Now the handpiece is turned to make the bevel up, and now watch direct job. Just bury the tip into the substance of the nucleus, and now hold the nucleus very firmly, and then use the chopper to make a nice crack. Rotate 90 degree, hold at this place, and make another good crack. One nuclear fragment is free. And now this is another crack. In this way the nucleus is divided into several free fragments. I am in Phaco 2 mode from the very beginning, where the vacuum is 450 millimeter of mercury, flow rate is 45 ml per minute, and in this case the power is set at 70%. Now the nuclear bases emulsified with ultrasonic energy, and the pieces are eaten up. Care should be taken at this time to maintain the anterior chamber. And during emulsification of the last piece, we can decrease the vacuum and floor it to much lower level. The nucleus is managed, and now the handpiece is removed. Little bit of visco is injected so that when we use Simcoe, the anterior chamber remains maintained. And now the cortical cleanup is started with this 23G Simcoe cannula. The cortex from 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock has been removed. This is the cortex from 8 o'clock. So most of the cortex can be removed by the Simcoe. The subincisional cortex can be removed going through the side port, or we can use bimanual irrigation aspiration if we don't want to use the Simcoe through the side port. Simcoe is a very safe instrument in challenging situations like weak zonule, where the posterior capsule tends to come frequently to the tip of the phaco needle. This is a very good instrument for cleaning the cortical lens matter. And now this is a hydrophilic acrylic single piece monofocal intraocular lens. It goes into the capsular bag. Whatever visco was there in the luminal cavities is removed just by irrigation. And the case is done. We just have to close the side ports, form the antechamber very nicely. This is a bit of moxifloxacin. Now corneal stroma on either side of the side ports are hydrated, and the stroma becomes thick and these openings get closed. And now a final lavage of the anterior chamber. At this time, a gentle stream of fluid is directed towards the corneal endothelium, and whatever visco sticks to the corneal endothelium gets dislodged and removed. Little bit of cortex is seen at 3 o'clock. It is at 6 o'clock. It has been removed. Little bit of polishing of the undersurface of the anterior capsular rim, and that's it. We are towards the end of the surgery. The anterior chamber is nicely formed, and now watch how to keep the Simcoe. Keep it in this way, give a forward push and come up, and your anterior chamber is formed. Thank you very much for your attention. Hope this video will help you in developing your surgical skills. Be a great surgeon and serve your patients with love, respect, empathy, and great surgical competence.